Welcome back to Unhistored. What's something most people don't know about Mohenjo-Daro? Imagine walking through a ghost town, not from the Old West, but an ancient city buried for millennia under the sun of Pakistan. Its name is Mohenjo-Daro, meaning Mound of the Dead. When archaeologists uncovered it in 1922, they found more than bricks and pottery. They found skeletons. Dozens, scattered in the streets, frozen in their final moments, left as if life stopped in an instant. The discovery began with British archaeologist R.D. Banerjee, who found strange seals and an unreadable script. He realized he was standing on a lost city, a civilization as old as Egypt and Mesopotamia, yet unique. This civilization rose to incredible heights and then vanished without warning. Who were these people? How did they build such a sophisticated city nearly 5,000 years ago? Their greatest structures were for public good, not for gods or kings. The biggest question, why did they leave? Or what stopped them from leaving? The mystery of Mohenjo-Daro isn't just about a city, it's about a people who vanished overnight. The silence of the ruins is deafening, echoing the past's chatter and laughter, then, an abrupt silence. This isn't just an archaeological site, it's a crime scene, cold for millennia. Every broken pot, wall and bone is a clue to a natural disaster, plague, or something else entirely. We're going on an expedition back in time, to unravel one of history's greatest unsolved cases. To understand the end, we must explore the beginning. Mohenjo-Daro was a masterpiece of urban planning, with streets on a grid system, wide enough for ox carts. This deliberate design shows the brilliance of the Indus Valley civilization's engineers. Their focus on sanitation was revolutionary. Nearly every house had a private bathroom connected to a city-wide drainage system. They built the world's first known public bath, the Great Bath, likely for ritual purification. This city wasn't for kings, it was for its citizens, clean and organized. Archaeologists found no grand palaces or temples, only public structures like the Great Bath and a massive granary. Houses were built from standardized bricks, suggesting an egalitarian society valuing cooperation. They were traders, not warriors, with seals found as far as Mesopotamia, but few weapons in the city. Life was peaceful and prosperous, with artisans crafting jewelry and potters creating terracotta wares. Farmers grew wheat, barley and cotton, feeding the city's estimated 40,000 residents. For nearly 1,000 years this civilization thrived in harmony. They mastered their environment, built a city envied by the ancient world, and created a stable society, which makes their sudden disappearance all the more baffling. How could a civilization this advanced simply cease to exist? Archaeologists at Mohenjo-Daro uncovered something disturbing in the upper city layers: skeletons. Not in graves but in streets and houses, in contorted positions. One group of 13 skeletons was found huddled together, as if hiding from terror. Another, the dancing girl, was sprawled on a stairway. Over 40 skeletons were found in strange positions, not victims of battle, with no burial rites. Death came swiftly, leaving no one to bury the dead. The city's final inhabitants were frozen in time, their last moments preserved. This transformed Mohenjo-Daro from a fascinating ruin into a chilling mystery. The placement of bodies tells a story of panic and chaos. People were caught in the open, not in beds or daily chores. One family was found holding hands, a tragic scene. Whatever overtook Mohenjo-Daro was sudden and catastrophic. It wasn't a slow decline, it was a full stop. The evidence points to a single, devastating event that left the city silent for 4,000 years. Advanced civilizations don't just vanish, they might decline or migrate, but they don't just stop. Yet here, the evidence points to exactly that. The potter's kiln was left unfinished, tools in the workshop, people where they fell. The skeletons are silent witnesses to the city's final moments, screaming of something swift and inescapable. What caused such a sudden collapse? Theories abound. A massive flood is one explanation, with evidence of major flooding found at the site. A catastrophic flood could have destroyed homes and crops, leading to widespread death. Another theory is disease. A plague could have swept through the population with terrifying speed. This would explain the sudden deaths and lack of burials as survivors fled in terror. However, this doesn't explain why the city was never resettled. A third possibility is invasion and conflict, but there's no evidence of a battle. Each theory has strengths and weaknesses. A flood explains silt deposits but not skeleton positions. A plague explains sudden deaths but not permanent abandonment. An invasion seems plausible but lacks evidence. The truth may be a combination of factors, with environmental collapse leading to a slow death. The mainstream view leans towards environmental collapse, but it doesn't explain the haunting final scene. The story takes a turn into the extraordinary with claims of radioactive skeletons. Rumors of vitrified rock fused by intense heat circulated. These claims were linked to theories of ancient astronauts and nuclear blasts. Authors like David Davenport suggested a massive explosion destroyed Mohenjo-Daro. The idea of an ancient nuclear war captured the public imagination. However, scientific checks debunked these claims. Skeletons showed no signs of radiation above normal levels. The vitrified rock was explained as a common industrial accident, not a nuclear blast. The sensational claims had no scientific basis. The narrative was compelling but lacked evidence. The idea of a prehistoric nuclear attack was exciting but unfounded. The theory remains popular in media but is dismissed by scientists. The facts don't support the atomic blast theory. Proponents of the atomic theory turn to ancient Indian texts like the Mahabharata. These texts describe weapons of immense power, sounding eerily familiar to modern readers. Passages speak of a projectile with the power of the universe, a column of smoke and flame. The descriptions are detailed, resembling a nuclear explosion. Another text describes the Brahmastra, a weapon capable of destroying entire armies. These vivid descriptions led some to argue they were memories of real technological events. The theory suggests the Mahabharata war isn't just a myth, it's a memory of a conflict fought with high-tech weapons. Could such weapons have been used on Mohenjo-Daro? The timeline doesn't match, but proponents argue the stories are older than the texts. The theory is intriguing but speculative. Ancient texts are filled with metaphor and hyperbole, not technical manuals. The mainstream view holds that the fall of Mohenjo-Daro must be explained by evidence, not myths. The ancient atomic war theory versus mainstream archaeology. The theory connects scattered skeletons, vitrified rock, and epic descriptions of weapons. It's a dramatic explanation for history's mystery, suggesting a prehistoric nuclear attack. Popular in media, it speaks to modern anxieties about nuclear war. However, the scientific community finds no credible evidence for the theory. Skeletons aren't radioactive, and the vitrified rock is minor. There's no blast crater or radioactive isotopes in the soil. The theory remains speculation without physical proof. Interpreting ancient poetry as literal history is a misunderstanding. The Mahabharata is an epic poem, not a technical manual. The mainstream view holds that Mohenjo-Daro's fall must be explained by evidence. The truth is likely more complex and less sensational than atomic warfare. If not a nuclear bomb, what do experts believe happened? The modern consensus is a gradual decline, not a dramatic event. Evidence shows a decline in building quality and city planning. Climate change is the likely culprit, with erratic monsoons causing droughts. The Indus River may have shifted, leading to agricultural devastation. Environmental pressure caused famine, disease, and social instability. People abandoned cities like Mohenjo-Daro for sustainable settlements. The city slowly emptied, a process taking decades. The skeletons in the street are debated, possibly victims of a final catastrophe. They represent the last inhabitants, not the entire population. The city didn't die in a flash, it faded away. The skeletons are a sad postscript to a long decline. Mohenjo-Daro's story is one of climate change and survival struggle. Standing in Mohenjo-Daro, we're left with questions. Whether the city fell to flood or famine, its story reminds us of civilization's fragility. These people were brilliant, building a world of order and peace. Yet they vanished, their civilization forgotten for millennia. The mystery highlights how much of our past is lost to time. We know them through bricks, drains, and bones, not language or stories. The controversy teaches us about narratives, like the ancient atomic war. Stories can take hold, providing simple answers to complex questions. Future archaeologists might misinterpret our myths, seeing truth in fiction. Mohenjo-Daro's truth is complex, a story of climate and change. The skeletons are a human testament to the fall of great cities. The Mound of the Dead offers lessons of humility in history's vast expanse. If you enjoyed this journey into the mysteries of Mohenjo-Daro, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think. Your thoughts help us uncover more lost worlds together.